Audio Addiction, we have Snowball II with us, and he can say his name and what he does.
Hey, my name's Jackson Wargo. I would guess I play guitar and sing in Snowball II.
Awesome. So, my first question, Jackson, which I don't ask to a lot of bands, but the naming convention got me. So, my first thing is like, was there a Snowball 1? That's the real question.
Oh well, there was, but Snowball Two is the name of the cat on The Simpsons. It's Lisa's cat.
Okay.
They've got Santa's Little Helper in Snowball Two, and they had a white cat, and it got run over pretty early in the series, and they called her Snowball, and then Snowball Two. So I wanted to name the band after The Simpsons. I was like dead set on that. So I kind of spent a while just like with a list next to me at all times of like funny things that I thought were from The Simpsons or funny things from The Simpsons.
That's
And Snowball 2 was, it was my favorite. It was everybody else's favorite. It was pretty like, oh yeah, that's the one. So.
awesome because I just thought it was interesting because I was like he didn't pick like Snowball like 5,000 or like like a really obscure number. He picked two, so I'm like there has to be a reasoning behind it. I have to say that I am obviously not brushed up in my Simpsons knowledge enough to know that answer, so I'm glad you had the ability to clarify that for me. But that's really cool. But
Well,
go ahead.
you have all of the Simpsons ahead of you, which is a wonderful place to be. I wish I were there. So
Awesome. So my first question, realistically, Jackson, how'd you start out Snowball 2? How'd you get your members?
well, that is a journey. How to start Snowball 2? I like to make records kind of by myself. It's like just a thing I do I've done ever since I was a kid. And so I was working on a record that was kind of shoegazy. It was unlike anything I'd ever done before, and I didn't really have a band. And I kind of made the record myself, and then decided on the moniker Snowball 2, and then tried to bring a bunch of people in, and I had a few members stay for a while, but everybody kind of just wanted to do their own thing, and which is cool. So the members are a fluid system other than me. But we've had some constant guys and some old people come back, so it's a little liberal, but I think the world's ready for it.
That's cool because I feel like, again, you kind of take the perspective of like a singer-songwriter where you're kind of like obviously the main gatekeeper, and then you have people kind of like cycle through that. And as somebody who's done a plethora of interviews, I always find it really cool when, you're able to still have that creative energy of you doing your solo stuff, but also obviously probably taking some notes from your other kind of quote unquote band members that you have, like that, have a revolving door of like people that come through. And that's really cool. I think it's, something unique, not only to you, but just, unique in general. But what made you kind of do it in that respect, as opposed to maybe like, having more of a solidified lineup? Is it just because I guess it's just because maybe other people had different priorities, or is it something maybe you can elaborate?
It really comes down to I did it out of necessity. I tried to have a band, and everybody's got their own lives. We're all, struggling to keep up. So, yeah, I mean, like I have one of the guys that's been in the band basically since the beginning, and I told him, I was like, "Hey, man, we're filming a music video on Monday, and I'd really like for you to be there. Are you free?" And he said, "Yeah, but I'd rather not." So it's just it's out of necessity. Band kind of,
Interesting. That's definitely, like I said,
Yeah.
an interesting approach, and it's something that, like again, I hadn't really come across up until this point. So, it's that's a
I think
very interesting approach, to say the
I,
least.
I'm sure it's a little more common than we think. Um, I mean, just take a look at the Shins. You know, the Shins lineup
That's
is
true.
constantly changing. Same with Lilies, and even I don't know. Even yeah, bands like Animal Collective members will
That's
just be
true.
like, "Yeah, I'm out for this one."
And I
So,
think it
and
keeps.
then they'll come back later with
I also feel like it keeps kind of like the energy, like it keeps the freshness. You know what I mean? It's like if
yeah,
you it promotes a level of like creativity that I think is obviously very warranted in the type of music that you do, but also like um I think it's good to have like different, a different perspective. Maybe somebody sees it as a different way, or obviously I don't know how much creative input they have into what you do essentially, but I think I mean, there's plenty of people that I ask about this channel and like doing stuff, and it's cool to get a perspective, change as opposed to like maybe seeing it a certain way, for however long.
yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Yeah, and yeah. I like to the people that I bring in, I bring them in because I want their creative input, and um I bring specific people in for specific roles. I know two drummers that have played in Snowball 2 that are good at very different things. And when one is in the band, we get to have a totally different experience than when the other one is playing in the band. So it really keeps everything exciting. And I mean, every Snowball 2 show is insanely different than the last, I think. And we thrive under lack of structure, which is kind of fun.
It keeps it fun,
So
and that's the most important thing.
yeah,
My next question is
yeah. I mean, yeah,
getting into more of the lighter stuff, because I feel like that we brought it a little bit heavy, but we're gonna take it a little bit easier into the questions that follow. But what are some favorite venues you guys like to play at, or catch a show at in your free time?
hmm. Um. Well, we're in Los Angeles, so I mean, the Echo is great. We've played the Echoplex, and we like it there. Um, where else is cool? We're about to play our record release show at the Resident or at Resident, and that's a great place to hang. And so if anyone's around on May 4th, I'd like to plug that. It's hosted by Neil Hamburger. Uh, so yeah, the Resident's great. Harvard and Stone is great. We used to play there a lot. And Silver Lake Lounge, of course. Or I'm sorry, I hate the Silver Lake Lounge. Don't go there. I meant to say, what's that other one? The Spaceland one. The Satellite. There we go. Satellite's great.
Awesome,
I don't
awesome.
know.
There we go. Next question, Jackson. Kind of
Yeah.
to follow up the venues. What was the last show that you attended that you didn't play?
I'm sorry?
The last show that you attended that you didn't play.
So venues but I haven't played it.
Well, no, no, no. So the question is like, what was the last show that you attended, like as like a patron?
Sorry, there's kind of like a you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I could hear you fine. No problem.
Okay, okay. Let's just give it a second and see if it picks up. Kind of move around a little bit and I'll see if the Okay, yeah, it's still pretty
Is it slow on like?
Yeah, it's still pretty slow, but here, keep talking.
Okay, so my question is, what was the last show that you attended as a patron?
Oh. I went to go see Collapsing Scenery last week. Uh, then they never fail to entertain and get you riled up. So I would recommend for anyone. But they're extremely loud, so bring earplugs.
There you go. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less. It's a good old concert. I'm getting old, so I bring my earplugs because I don't want to be like 80 years old and can't hear anything. Uh,
Yeah, it's important.
Awesome. My next question, Jackson, the most important one. Tell about some of your musical influences. Who do you draw from?
Well, one of my favorite songwriters is Kurt Heasley of the band Lilies. I think he is indie rock's best kept secret, and I think he's like he's the he's like a poet's poet, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, his albums I listen to. So like the Lilies the Three Way has a huge influence on Snowball II. I think you'll see direct things that I've taken right out of there. And then Kurt came and sang on one of the Snowball II songs,
Oh, cool.
which was cool. And so I also listen to a lot of. I really like this band called Marching Band.
Okay.
They're from Sweden, and they put out an album in I think 2008 called Spark Large, and it is like a friend just showed it to me one time, and I immediately fell in love with it, and I've been listening to it for like a decade now, and it's never gotten old. But nobody's heard of it. So yeah, Marching Band Spark Large, huge influence on me, as well as David Byrne and Harry Nilsson. Your usual guys.
Awesome. Awesome. Next question, Jackson, to kind of follow up the influences. Who have you been spinning lately? Who have you been jamming to as of recently?
A lot of Kendrick Lamar.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I threw on To Pimp a Butterfly the other day, and I was able to sit and listen to the entire thing, which is it's a long
Yeah.
it's a long album, and I was explicating a little more than I normally do, and found a lot of really sophisticated gems that I just kind of glossed over before. So I got really excited about that. And yeah, so other than that, I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks.
Any ones you could recommend, Jackson?
Yeah. I would say the audible.com version of A Clockwork Orange is excellent production. I think the delivery's great. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Was entertained start to finish.
Awesome. That's cool. Because I feel like that's kind of like a first, because I don't usually, like, when people say that sort of stuff, it's like something that, not that I discount or anything, but it's like, I've never actually had somebody who was like, yeah, I do like a lot of like audiobooks. I'll get like podcasts every once in a while, and I'll like, tell me what podcasts you've been listening to. But I think it's always cool to get that sort of perspective, and I think, obviously it affects like your lyricism and things of that nature, but that's really cool. Definitely, like, again, two opposite ends of the spectrum, being Kendrick Lamar and Clockwork Orange, the Audible book, but very cool.
I don't know. I don't think they're all that different.
I think it's kind of an interesting dichotomy, but I'm about it either way, though. Anyway, Jackson, another fun question. If you could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
I'm sorry. Can you cut out for just a second? Can you repeat the question?
My question is, Jackson, if there was one song you could cover, what would it be?
Uh, um, well, I don't know. I do a lot of covers. I put out an entire album of Magnetic Fields
Then
covers.
I asked the right
I
question then.
so if I could just do one cover for and that was it.
Well, I mean, like, if you could, if
Uh,
there was another one that you could add to your arsenal, what would it be?
oh, okay. Hmm. I'd like to do a version of Roy Orbison's "Crying,"
Oh, okay.
but it would be challenging. So
Yes, it will.
I don't know. I don't know how I would do it, but I like that song, and I like want to spend a lot of time working on that song just so
Maybe,
I can listen to it.
maybe I give you a little bit of inspiration.
Maybe
Uh,
you did. Maybe you did.
maybe it will happen. You'll have to keep me posted on it. Awesome.
I will. I will.
Next
Maybe
question.
you'll premiere it.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what the future holds? But my next question, Jackson, another fun one. Favorite food to eat?
Ooh. Whew. Um I I'm gonna say pad thai.
Oh, okay, okay. Out of the gates. I like it. Awesome.
So yeah,
Next,
vegetable pad thai.
vegetable pad thai. I'm all about it. Next question, Jackson. Another
All
fun
right,
one.
yeah.
If you could pick somebody to collaborate with, whether it be a guest vocalist on your next record or a producer you'd like to work with, who would it be?
Well, so it's funny you say that because I feel like with Eaton Super 10 with this record that we're putting out on Friday, I actually kind of got to work with like some of my dream artists on it. Like this is kind of nerdy, but the mastering engineer is his name's TLB Walsh, and he's mastered a ton of records that I just love, and he used to play in that band Pedro the Lion,
Oh,
and
tight. Okay.
he's made some, yeah, so like he mastered the record, and I was really honored to have his touch on it. And then my favorite artist is like visual artist is Stephen Powers, and he painted the album art. um so that was a really cool collaboration, and then obviously Annie Hardy sings on the album, and it was a treat to work with her. So but if I had to, if I could collaborate with someone else on the next one, if I could get if I could get Neil Hamburger on the next one, I'd be happy.
I that
I'd be
definitely
very
sounds
happy.
that definitely sounds like a aspiration to get to, but I hope that next time your album comes around that it will happen for you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Next question, Jackson. I see you have a ton of instruments in your little studio here, but if there was another
Yeah.
instrument that you could pick up and be proficient at, what would it be?
It's funny. I just started playing trumpet like 2 months ago, and that's my answer.
How's it
And
going
I
so
think I'm
far?
not half bad.
There
It's
you go.
going. I can play for you if you want.
Maybe after. Well, and I'll
Okay.
add it in.
All right.
Next, next question, Jackson. Another really fun one. If you could compile a dream tour, who'd be on the lineup?
Dream tour. I'd love to go on tour with Lilies
Oh, okay.
and um but it would be like Kurt Heasley solo
Okay, okay.
Lilies, right? So he'll open up the show, and then we'll have somebody like are if sorry, I'm trying to create like a really good, what I think would be a really good show. I guess I'll put I wouldn't even want Snowball 2 on it. I would just want Lilies to play and Sufjan, and then maybe that's it. Next question. Sorry. I don't know. I have to think. I'm thinking too. I have to think way more to give you a better answer.
Hey, listen,
it's too much.
I
Sorry.
I purposefully put that question in there because I feel like it's a hard one, and I always love getting that sort of like the gears turning in someone's head, like not like I feel like that sounds very cynical, but like I like I kind of enjoy like when somebody's like really collectively thinking about like who they should pair with, and if like they should just go like off the rails and do something like mental or like keep it into their lane. So
Well, let me tell you this. That our the Eaton Super 10 record release party is we've got a like a bebop style jazz band called Mambo Jumbo Jazz Combo, and then a really incredible songwriter named Jason Lerman, who's gonna sing and play guitar, and then Neil Hamburger is gonna do some stuff, and then we're gonna play. So I would take that on tour. So that's on May 4th at Resident
there you go.
in Los Angeles.
That's plug number 2, and I'm about that. I definitely would, if I lived out there. If I didn't live on the opposite coast, I would probably come out there and try to catch the show. But
You should just come out.
just come out, fly
on
out.
out.
You know. All right, you got it.
Wow,
I'll
it's
be on
LA. Just come on
be
out.
the next, I'll get the next ticket to LA, and I'll be out there very soon.
All right.
Next,
See you there.
Next question, Jackson. To kind of follow up the Dream Tour lineup, or the answer that you gave me. In your opinion, who puts on a great live show in terms of bands that you've seen?
Great live show. Of Montreal never fails to entertain. Same with Collapsing Scenery. Always love seeing them. I'm trying to think, who have I seen? Flogging Molly. I
Ooh,
love to
okay.
see Flogging Molly.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think Neil Hamburger puts on a great show.
There you go. And you can see him May 4th.
Yeah.
There you go.
My friends, the Oil Barons, put on a great show. Always.
Awesome. There you go. Always. And
Yeah.
these are all bands that I'm definitely going to go check out because I'm a little bit uncultured to the shoegaze realm of music, but I'm glad you're educating me.
I didn't say all shoegaze bands. So. But yeah,
just education in general. I need that. As you can tell, Jackson, you know, I am a very uneducated person, so I'm glad I'm getting the.
I don't think that's true.
But my next question, Jackson.
Sell yourself short.
I know, I do. I always do. You know, I gotta keep a higher persona of myself. But next question, Jackson. Another fun one. Favorite TV show, favorite movie.
Ooh, favorite movie. It's a three-way tie.
Oh, okay.
School of Rock.
Oh, classic.
Mulholland Drive.
Oh, go on.
And The Room.
Okay, The Room. Like, that's just, you know.
In no particular order.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna have to I'm just gonna have to like guess. I feel like you would put. I don't know. How would you do this? I mean,
No, I
I
said
know.
they're. I said they're in no particular
Oh,
order.
so
Like
there is no
three-way
order.
tie, even.
Okay, okay, dead heat.
There's
All
no
right.
order.
There you go. I definitely like all three of those movies, so I'm glad we could have that moment of bonding over the same three movies. Um, but
Yes.
my next question, Jackson, if you're trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you could bring with you, what would it be?
I'm gonna be there for a month.
Yes, 1 month.
What's the weather like? Desert island, so it's gonna be hot.
I feel like it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be like hot and like tropical, you know?
Yeah. So I'm.
Wow, you're really.
So I'm gonna
digging
want to
into
be
this.
like dancing.
I'm glad that I'm glad you're dedicated to the question like that. You know, I feel like people don't read into it as much as you are. You
I
know?
take it seriously. I would probably bring. The Incredible String Band's 5,000 Spirits or the Layers of the Onion.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's
Okay.
I'd feel like I would want to dance if I'm going to be there for a month, and that'll get me going.
I'm all about again the thought process, the thought inducing, you know, like just the way you answered it. You know, I think that's prime candidates for one of my favorite answers, just because you were just so like, just so on top of it. You're like, what's the weather like? Where we at? You know, how am I gonna be feeling? Am I vibing? Am I not? You know, I'm about that. So I'm glad. Again, top marks to you, Jackson. Definitely appreciate that immensely.
Well, thank you. Glad to. Huh? I don't even.
You killed the question. That's all
Glad
you need to
to.
know. That's all you need to know. The last thing,
All right, well,
Jackson,
thanks.
the biggest thing, the most important thing. Tell them about your band,
Uh-oh.
Snowball II, where they can find you at, and anything coming up in the next couple months.
All right. Well, yeah, we're dropping Eaton Super 10 tomorrow. Or I'm sorry, not tomorrow. Friday, April 12th. And you can find it on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Facebook, facebook.com/snowball2band. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on snowball2.com. We're on SoundCloud. We're on stage. We're on a roll. We're on fire. We're on top of it. We're on top of the world, man. So you can just seek and you will find Snowball 2. Seek and ye shall find Snowball 2.
You will definitely find Snowball 2. More specifically, in the description, go find out about Snowball 2. If you are in California, please go out and see them. Shout outs to Bob. He is the one who hooked it up. This was like literally the first email that I've gotten from Bob in my entire life. So thanks that Jackson is just coming out the gate strong. You know, Bob's bringing out the heat, and I'm glad that he is because, again,
Bob never fails to disappoint.
that's true. I don't know, but I feel like he wouldn't now at this point. Just
I mean, I don't think Bob has to prove himself.
Hey, listen.
I think Bob is his own proof.
I just got the email. This was the first interaction. I have to say, it was A1. I give Bob an A+ on this one.
All right. Well,
for
I give you an A+.
Well, thank you very much.
And
Definitely
Bob, he gets an A.
Okay. Oh.
He can improve. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Go
A++.
check out Jackson's band, Snowball 2, like I had mentioned, in the description, where you can find out about him on social media, if he's playing a show near you, or, you know, music in general, which is, you know, the sole reason why you're here, and you should go check him out, and go subscribe to his YouTube channel, all that sort of stuff. I'm sure he has it, so I feel like I'm giving him the necessary plug for that. And if you enjoyed this interview, share it, like it, subscribe. it goes a long way. And of course, thank you to Jackson of Snowball 2 for coming on.
Thanks to Audio Addictions for having me.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.